Hello everyone, so I think it's about time that we did another mount guide, and this time I'm going to be hitting up Northrend. This will cover all of the reputation-based mounts, and it will also cover the ones that drop from the various bosses and things like that are strewn across Northrend, and the Wrath of the Lich King expansion in general. So first of all, let's start off with the Argent Tournament. There's a grand total of 14 mounts here, and 15 if you are a paladin. So to do this, you just want to head to the tournament and start off by just doing the tutorial quests which teach you how to joust. After this, you will unlock dailies that give you aspirant's seals. You'll need to do these dailies for 3 days in order to get enough seals to progress. Once this is done, you'll be a Valiant and you can choose like one of your various different factions. So choose a faction and then do all of those daily quests, which will give you Valiant seals. It'll take you 5 days of these quests to complete that stage, and once that's done, you fight an Argent Crusade champion, and you become a champion yourself. Once that happens, you unlock further quests at the main Argent tent, which give you champion seals. So, just do those, and one of the quests will give you a choice between a coin purse and a champion's writ. You want to choose the writ to get another seal. And essentially that's most of it. Once you become a champion, you get most of the dailies and away you go. However, that's not all. A final rank of Exalted Champion is available if you reach champion with every single one of your home factions. So, you know what you just did previously to get up to a champion in the first place? Well, you need to do that with every faction. That's a total of 25 days of daily quests. It's kind of brutal when you think about it. Now also, if you complete the Trial of the Champion instance on Heroic, you'll get 3 champion seals per day as well. And really, once you've done all this stuff, you'll get loads of daily quests, they all give you champions seals, and if you do all the quests and also Trial of the Champion, you will get 17 per day. And as far as the mounts go, well, there's quite a few. There are 10 for your factions, that's 2 per race. Each race has got a mount which costs 500 gold, and 5 seals, and then another mount which costs 100 seals. On top of that, there is a Silver Covenant / Sunreaver mount, which I believe they cost a total of 250 seals. They are the Keldori Steed and Hippogriff, and I don't know what the Horde ones are. Then there's also 3 Argent mounts. Everyone can get the Argent Hippogriff and the Argent Warhorse, but only Paladins can get the Charger. And that's basically it for this faction. I know I kind of zoomed through all of that pretty quickly, and as much as it might seem a bit overwhelming, it all sort of flows in a sensible manner once you get there. I think it takes about 73 days to get all of the mounts, assuming you're getting 17 champion seals per day, so it's certainly a big undertaking. Next, we've got the Sons of Hode, and these guys are pretty easy to do. First of all, you want to go to K3 in the Storm Peaks and pick up a quest called They Took Our Men. This starts a really long quest chain, but it will eventually unlock the reputation for you. After the rep's unlocked, you should be at roughly friendly, and a bunch of dailies will open up at, I think it's called Don Nephilim, Nephil something. I don't have it up on the screen at the minute, so I don't know. But anyway, you know what it is. There's a bunch of quests there. Just start doing them as time goes on and you get higher stages of the reputation. You will unlock a few more, which is pretty handy. Now, there are other ways to get the rep faster, which is good. I find that the best farming place is the Halls of Lightning. It doesn't matter what difficulty level, though you should probably do it on Heroic with the Tabard for, say, Wormrest the Cord, so that you can knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. So turning in those is pretty good. They are BOE, so you can also pick up loads in the auction house, which could be good depending on your server. Next, there are also things called Everfrost chips, which are just scattered around the floor in the kind of just general area of the ice giant people. I'll throw up a map for that. They're a little bit like the Netherwing eggs in that you sort of pick them up. They're rather rare spawns on the floor, and they give you 350 rep. In my quick flying around the place though, I didn't see too many of them, and you do need to be friendly to pick them up. Unlike some of the other factions, there's no tabard available for these guys, so you're just going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. Next, let's cover the Wormrest the Cord. Unfortunately, unless you're a real fan of dungeon grinding, there's no fast way to do this one. Basically, just do all of the regular quests in Koldara, which is located in the Borean Tundra, and then Wormrest Temple in Dragonblight. Once you've done all those quests, you will be, I think, partway through Honored, and then you open up the dailies. There is one daily in Koldara, there's one daily which is kind of up in Koldara, it's above the Nexus on a floating platform, and there's a daily from Wormrest Temple. So that's your daily stuff. Of course, you can just pop on a tabard and start grinding out the heroic dungeons if you want to get rep really quickly. Also, just for the sake of completeness, I will cover the Dalaran vendor. She's called May Francis, or Mai Francis, or something like that, and she sells a whole bunch of mounts, including the widely known Traveler's Tundra Mammoth, which is something that you should probably pick up anyway. Next, we've got the White Polar Bear. This isn't, it's not a rep mount necessarily, but it's kind of related to a faction of people. Basically, it's in the Storm Peaks. You want to do the quests from K3 until you infiltrate this place. I think it's called Brunhildnar Village or something like that. Basically, once you hop in there and do all the quests, at the very end you'll unlock a single daily quest from Greta the Arbiter, and that's got a pretty darn low chance of giving you this mount, so you'll need a lot of luck for that one. And next we've got the Oracles. So for the Oracles, it's pretty simple. Just go to Sholazar Basin, then go to River's Heart, and pick up the quest called Part-Time Hunter. This will start a big long line of quests, and at the very end you'll be able to choose between the Oracles and the Wulvar people. Once that's done, obviously you want to choose the Oracles, and then just do their daily quests. Once you can, you just want to buy the egg that their vendor sells, and that egg in 3 days will hatch, and it may be the Proto Drake. It may not be. You'll probably go through a few eggs until you actually get the mount. And finally, as far as faction-ish stuff goes, we've got the Reigns of the Black War Mammoth. This is purchased in Wintergrasp if your faction owns the keep, and it costs a total of 2,000 honor points. Pretty easy to get on balance, just grind out a few battlegrounds and it should be fine. Honor is super quick in Warlords of Draenor. Next, let's cover the various mounts that come from drops and things like that in the world. I'll start off with the dungeon ones. So the Bronze Drake comes from the Culling of Stratholme instance, and this is a really easy one to get. Basically just rush through the instance as quickly as possible, you won't have any issues with the timer though. It was balanced of course for Wrath gear. And essentially at the very end you can take a right turn to Mal'Ganis and finish off the instance, or just keep on going to the towards the left and you'll find a infinite dragonflight person. Just kill them and they will drop the Bronze Drake. It's super easy to get. Next we've got the Blue Proto Drake. This is from Utgard Pinnacle and it drops off, I think, Scaldi, or his name, something like that. Just hop in there. It'll probably take a good few times though because it is a pretty rare drop rate. Next, we've got the rather illustrious Time Lost Proto Drake. It's very hard to get. It's an extremely long spawn timer. I think it's between 6 and 12 hours, so it's very, very, very hard to get. And with realms being cross-realm zoned, there's a good chance you might get some competition. Essentially, it spawns, and I'll put a map up, in the Storm Peaks and it flies around the place. What you want to do is just kill it, and it will drop, well, it'll drop itself once you kill it, sort of. The issue though is, it's a very rare spawn and you'll need a lot of luck for this one. Next, let's cover the raid mounts. So first of all, Invincible comes from Lich King 25 Heroic. Just hop in there, kill him, and well, with a bit of luck you'll be able to get it. Maybe now, maybe in a year, you'll just have to wait and see. There are also 2 mounts from the Eye of Eternity, the Azure Drake and Blue Drake. Actually, according to a GM response, drop on both 10 and 25 player, and it's really just a matter of luck. Next, we've got Mimiron's Head. Now, this one drops from Ulduar, from Yogg-Saron himself, on 25 player difficulty. However, you need to ensure that you don't get the help of any of the keepers, because you need to do Alone in the Darkness, essentially, to get this. So, Yogg-Saron, no help from the keepers. Basically, it's just Yogg 25 heroic mode. It is a very rare drop, though, so you'll need a lot of luck. Next, the Onyxian Drake drops, of course, from Onyxia in Dustwallow Marsh. This is a really easy one to farm, however, it's an extremely rare mount. I think it's somewhere in around 1%, maybe a bit lower, so it's definitely tricky to get, and it's got an equal drop rate on either 10 or 25 player. And next up, we've got 2 mounts, the Black Drake and Twilight Drake, which are from Ctharian. For the Black Drake, you need to kill Sarth on 10 player difficulty with all 3 drakes up. So essentially just run in, head straight for the boss and kill it. And then for the Twilight Drake, you need to do the exact same thing, but on 25 player difficulty. Both encounters are of course completely trivial at our current gear level. Finally, I'm just going to mention the meta achievement mounts for the sake of completion. These, of course, do take quite a bit of time to get, and they require strategy, and to do a guide for all of these would probably take hours, but essentially the 10 and 25 player meta achievements of Ulduar and Icecrown Citadel will give mounts. Also, Glory of the Hero, which is the dungeon meta achievement, will give you the red Proto Drake. And that's pretty much it for the video. They are all the mounts that you can get in Northrend. Anyway, I hope you found this stuff useful, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.